Makes it like a bar of soap underneath there, doesn't it, David?
Yeah, let's see these guys really having to watch that throttle coming out of the corners today.
The board's gone sideways. We're all set for the start of Moto number 1. We're at the back of Carmichael number 1 and Jimmy Button number 11. Carmichael gets a good start, but it's Chris Gosselaar in his very first national, 16 years old, number 955. He's riding Steve Lamson's bike. His mechanic is Dan Betley, Lamson's mechanic. He is, of course, the son of Mike Gosselaar, who's the mechanic for Ezra Lusk. Here comes Ricky Carmichael, and very quickly takes the lead. McCormick, this is his home track. He cuts in front of Gosselaar right now. So the good start is fading for Gosselaar. Whoa, Endo! Christopher Gosselaar goes over the bars. Doesn't look like he's hurt, though, David.
Well, that was lucky. It looked like one of the riders, maybe Tim Ferry, came by and almost clipped him. Stayed out of the way just in time, but I think he may have got a little flustered there. He got the whole shot. I remember what it was like my first national. You're pretty nervous.
Yeah.
Probably got the whole shot and figured, gosh, why now? It's a lot easier to work your way from behind. And Carmichael was all over him. Just had a green fender in his side the whole time.
Carmichael with a good getaway, and Jason McCormick right behind him. McCormick is from Vancouver, Washington, just a few miles down the Columbia River from Washougal. So this is his home track, and he loves it. He's inspired by the fans here.
You can really hear those fans as you drop back into the valley. You come out of the woods there. Little bobble by McCormick. He stays on Carmichael. Really important right here for the hometown boy to use these fans to his advantage. Try to stay right with the leader. We'll take another look at what happened to Gosselaar right here. He's just sitting in third. Wide open right into that bank. He needs to be looking this way. He's looking right into that bank. Drawn right towards it. Boom. Over the handlebars. Then Tim Ferry just about tags him while he's tumbling through the air.
All that action out front with Carmichael and Jason McCormick. And behind them, John Dowd, Brian Deegan, Michael Brandis, Stefan Roncada, Nick Way all got mixed up in a pileup. They were the notables anyway that got hung up with that first lap pileup. Out in front, RC, where he's accustomed to being all season long, really. He has led all but 2 motos this year at one time or another. Of course, he had the injury problems at Hangtown in practice and blown head gasket at Southwick, which he took at 28. Boy, that was frustrating for him, but he's put it all together surrounding those races.
As they get through the first lap, I haven't seen really any mistakes by him, and McCormick is still right there. You see him pop into the picture, and they have already distanced themselves from third, so McCormick's comfortable on this racetrack, and if he can stay with Carmichael for just another lap or two, he'll learn so much that he may be able to stay with him throughout the whole race, or at least put so much time on everybody else, he'll lock down second for sure. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful weather here in Washougal in the Pacific Northwest. Nice, comfortable temperatures. They watered down the track heavily to cut down the dust. That's the new section. They just worked their way through, jumping down into this long left-hand sweeper. Through the trees into the shadows there. A little bit tough to see the line. Took a lot of kinks out of it, didn't they? Yeah, it's a lot faster through there. And actually, I think it's going to be a little bit better for passing. And early in the race, through the start, you don't get so much separation in the field with all the S-turns they used to have. And taking a look at our Suzuki field summary, Carmichael, McCormick, Johnson, and Brown, and Reynard, they're accustomed to being the top 5. Dowd in 9th. AMA Motocross is being brought to you by Honda, maker of the world's most powerful custom motorcycle, the Valkyrie. And by the new line of Mazda B-Series trucks. Mazda, get in, be moved. Welcome back to our first 125 Moto. Ricky Carmichael is out in front with Jason McCormick. The local youngster from Vancouver, Washington now, dropping back a little further. How can you expect anybody to stay with this guy? So aggressive. It looks to me like each lap he puts in is like qualifying. Like he's trying to see if he can get the fastest lap of the day, and he rides like that the entire moto. So he's got a lot of confidence in his riding ability and in his physical fitness. He takes those whoops like it was just nothing. Here's the battle for third. Casey Johnson, number 20 on the pro circuit. Kawasaki. See Johnson looking over his shoulder. That's Brown right behind him. Johnson's probably wondering. It makes a difference whether he'll go wide or tight. Some guys more aggressive than others.
Casey Johnson, number 20. Brown, number 100. Here comes the primal Suzuki of Robbie Reynard, number 21. Brown shuts the door. Now he makes the move on Casey Johnson to the inside. Michael Brown takes over third, but this is a tricky little S section here.
That's not over yet. As long as you got all these tight corners, you got a pack of 3 like this, especially with Reynard at the tail end. Anything can happen. Force these guys to get too aggressive on this slick soil, get on the gas early and slide out. I've had that happen to me. Here's another look at how Brown made the pass. A lot more aggressive to the loop section. You see Johnson right there to the left looking over at him. He knows if he cuts to the inside, Brown's already there. They're both going down. So he waits just a little bit, cuts back to the inside. Now he has an option in the next corner because he knows Brown's carrying it wide. He'll have to cut tighter down there. Maybe he can get back by.
There's still time for this pack of 3 to move up and challenge for the lead. But Ricky Carmichael has made short work of Jason McCormick. They are 1 and 2. The pass by Robbie Reynard on Casey Johnson, so the Pro Circuit rider now slips back to 5th.
I don't really see anything wrong with the way Casey Johnson went through there. Reynard just went through there that much faster on the inside. Look how close his hand gets to that bank. Laid over on the power, feet on the pegs. This is what I really like, though. Reaches up, pitches the back end out, all in one motion because he knew he was drifting wider there. He needed to get that back end pitched out, so when he landed, he was going in the right direction. Beautiful move.
Robbie Reynard in the last few races has looked phenomenal. And, of course, who can forget Unadilla when he totally surprised Ricky Carmichael with a new line around a sweeping berm and beat Ricky in the first moto and then had to come from behind to take a second place behind RC in the second moto there at Unadilla.
Both Reynard and Carmichael have the same ability, the same speed at times, but it's just been Carmichael that's been on a little more often. But, Art, there's always Millville.
That's right. Let's go down to Davey Coombs down the mechanics area. Davey, take it away, partner.
Chad, Ricky's off to a good start as usual, but you got the local hero Jason McCormick behind you. Does that worry you at all?
I knew McCormick, and Ricky knew too. I mean, it's his home track. He rides there all the time, and being pumped up that it's in his hometown, I mean, he's naturally going to go fast, and he's carrying a good pace right now, but I don't know how strong that kid is.
Have you noticed that Dowd got off to a bad start, possibly involved in a pileup?
Yeah, but that's in the back of my mind.
No, I get the impression from Chad now that they're not thinking a whole lot about Dowd. They're thinking about winning motos. From where Dowd is right now, even if he has one of those come from behind rides, which he is capable of, I mean, the best he can look at right now is about a third at best. And that's another 5 points advantage, and Carmichael leads in the title.
Well, look at how far back the third place rider is. As we just saw the interval there, Mike Brown, number 100, being chased down by Robbie Reynard.
I don't think they're worried too much about Dowd. They're just picking up chunks of points right now, every moto out there. I think what they're more concerned about is just winning the races.
Reynard looking for the opportunity to pass Mike Brown, a Hondo Troy. Reynard, no, he just can't quite get to the inside in this battle for third. Well, if Robbie would have gotten some better starts this year, with his speed, he might have had a bigger point total than he has right now. In fact, he's been even playing ping pong left-handed to try to get his reflexes to come around. Robbie Reynard, number 21. Reynard now with a good chance on the inside on Michael Brown, and he does. He makes the pass for third. Robbie Reynard, who's played second fiddle all season long during the Supercross season to Ricky Carmichael. I almost think, David, that if he beats Carmichael one time this year, it'll make his career.
It'll certainly help. I mean, in the first half of this outdoor season, you know, he had great moto finishes, but he wasn't able to come out and back that up in the second moto. He had just a lot of bad luck, first turn pileup, bad starts, some bike troubles, injuries, and you know, looking at his physique now, like you mentioned it, he seems a little more buffed out now. I think that he's got some of these injuries behind him. Now he can train. You can see the confidence in his riding style now. The guy just goes anywhere he wants on the racetrack.
A 1-3 for a second overall at Unadilla, a 9-2 for a fourth overall at Troy, and he's gunning now to try to get into second place. We've got a break right now from Washougal, Washington. We'll be right back. Ricky Carmichael is picked up right where he left off in the last race at Troy, Ohio, here at Washougal, Washington. This is our first moto, and it's Ricky with a big, big lead on Jason McCormick. The real battle, the only battle here in the first moto so far was for third place. As we take a look at the Suzuki stopwatch now, Ricky Carmichael will see an interval between first and second. It's an awesome spread already on Jason McCormick.
This early in the moto to have an 8-second lead is pretty nice cushion.
Jason McCormick just getting through the mechanics area after seeing the board. It was almost like, hey, I don't believe it. I got to look back and see Robbie Reynard. Let's go down to Davey.
19 down. You tell him how much time he's got in?
Yeah, we got to get him focused. He usually likes to know about 20-minute mark so he can pick up his pace or just hold it.
What was Jason's expectations coming in this weekend?
I think he was a little nervous, but he was really looking forward to come home. He's had an up and down year, and if he's going to turn it around, it's going to be a disc track.
So far, so good.
Absolutely. Second motor should be better.
Last year, McCormick had his best performance of the season, a 9th place performance. He led in one moto of the two. His best performance this year was a 5th overall at Redbud, where he also got a 5th place moto. So he is definitely off to his best start of any outdoor this season.
And his mechanic's right. This is going to be the place that's going to turn it around, but I'm wondering where his mechanics' expectations are for the second moto. That's going to be a lot better. Geez, you know, unless he's leading it, and it's going to get much better than this.
RC would have to go down before that would happen, I think.
The way he's riding today, that's for sure. Because Jason was right there in the beginning and slowly slipped back. Now he's in jeopardy of second place because Reynard's coming quick.
And
still,
Reynard can fly.
Yeah, still though, Art, I'm very impressed with the way McCormick's ridden. You know, hometown track or whatever you want to call it, sure, you're going to go out and ride this. It's easy to say, but doing it, it's tough. And he's doing it here today, doing a fine job so far.
So the young man out of Oklahoma, though, number 21, Robbie Reynard, is on the move. And he's got the target right on the back of Jason McCormick as he goes through the whoop section.
That whoop section has been tough. All the guys are getting through the first 3/4 of that pretty good. It's those last 4 or 5 bumps. You lose momentum there, it's tough. And for Carmichael being a little bit shorter, he's really getting bucked around those last few.
Oh, it's really good. It's heartwarming to see a kid like Robbie Reynard really mature now after so many high expectations were placed on his shoulders coming out of the amateur ranks where he won so many championships. Here's John Dowd in 11th place, trying to work his way back up through the crowd.
This is a tough place to be. I kind of feel for him a little bit because I've been there. I've had good races and good seasons. 1983, 84, actually 82 through 84. I just kept getting better and better, winning titles and had the expectations there. And all of a sudden, 85, I couldn't do anything right. I got every bad start. I was in every pile up. And you're trying even harder, it seems like, and you're getting worse results. A very uncomfortable place to be.
Reynard getting closer and closer to Jason McCormick as the laps wind down here in our opening moto of the 125s.
That's that new section. You can see how fast they're getting through there.
Boy, he goes into that section fast. Not much braking time there.
Not much, and you'll see that other than right there through that corner, you'll see, especially down through here, Reynard stands up a lot, doesn't put his feet out, stands up, grips the bike with his knees, stands up more than anybody else out there on the racetrack, I think. Lets the bike work underneath him. And pretty neat style. I've said it before, but if there were a riding contest, Reynard would be right there every week. The guy really has good balance.
Over the tabletop, flawless action by Robbie Reynard. He's felt the dirt here at Washougal before.
See him soak up the top of that tunnel jump there to stay low. He's gaining time. McCormick's going to feel it here and have to start paying attention and not leaving that door open. Take the inside in a few places, even if he doesn't want to, because you can sense the pressure from Reynard already.
Reynard now checking out the inside, goes the high road. Oh my goodness, McCormick gets a little slingshot effect. He's got the edge of the whoops. Can he hold it on Robbie Reynard? The crowd really not cheering that much. They got their jaws open as Robbie Reynard moves into second place. Their hero, Jason McCormick, slipping back to third.
Well, it surprised me a little bit that he left the door open entering the whoop section, but he got a good drive through there. And I think he was just trying to cover the line of Reynard. He was thinking about what he was doing too much through that big sweeper heading into the finish line, and Reynard was able to take advantage.
Reynard really got good torque, though, out of that very, very tight turn going into the whoops.
Well, he made a commitment, and he saw an opportunity, too. The McCormick going wide. He needed to get out of that inside and drag race him down through that whoop section to have the opportunity to make the pass through that sweeper, and it worked out.
Now in this position psychologically, David, Reynard has done such a good job of battling by Brown for third, getting by McCormick for second place, but RC is way out there, and there's not that much time left. When we come back, we'll see if Robbie can pick up the slack on RC. Welcome back to Washougal, Washington, where number 1, Ricky Carmichael, is looking for another number 1 plate. I don't know what he's looking around for unless he's checking out the crowd, as he has such a horrendous lead here in the opening moto. Back-to-back 125 championships. They're quite an accomplishment, that's for sure, but they're not really uncommon, David. We've seen Steve Lamson and Doug Henry during the 90s win back-to-back crowns.
Pretty tough to do. I remember Mickey Diamond won back-to-back crowns. He was on the team with me in '86, and then
Smith. Then we had the 2 big ones that won 3 in a row. Brock Glover and Mark Barnett.
When those guys were doing it, there were 5 or 6 guys. It'd be like having 5 or 6 Ricky Carmichaels out there. They were doing it in some heavy, heavy competition, because back then you didn't really have to choose your class. Everybody rode it. And boy, it's amazing to think those guys could dominate in that era.
I've got to think, though, with all the factory support teams coming in next year, that depth of talent will increase with the opportunities that are being presented to all the 125 riders.
I hope so.
Here's John Dow trying to get around the Chaparral Yamaha of Jimmy Button, number 11. And he chooses the whoop section to do it.
Boy, that's where Dowd's strong. That's what I was talking about. That last 4 or 5 bumps is where he made that pass work. He got the drive off the last bump on the downside and just motored away from Button. Button didn't go through there slow either. He just got out muscled by Dowd.
Jimmy Button running the 250s in Supercross and the 125s in the Nationals. Good example of going the other way around. I don't know. I still think John Dowd needs a 250.
Yeah, I'd like to see him on one. But I'll tell you what, jumping back into the 125, I mean, who'd have thought he won the Supercross title, and he got that on the 125. So he's just a trooper. He'll do what you ask him to do, and I think it's pretty tough for anybody to beat this guy right now.
Ricky Carmichael giving his best back to the fans, waving to them, putting the fist in the air on the final lap of our opening moto.
Looks like it's been pretty easy for him. He goes over that tunnel jump, looks over at Reynard coming back the other way, knows he's got a comfortable margin. He can celebrate from here on out. And this last 4 or 5 laps for him in the moto, he's been in cruise control, saving his energy, where Reynard's been back there charging, trying to close the gap. So between motos, perhaps Carmichael will be a little bit better rested.
This would be his 13th moto win in 17 motos this year. You don't want to cruise too much through those whoops.
He's just trying to get through there the easiest way. You can see he was trying to go 3 at a time, bounce the back wheel, hop over, get through there with the least amount of effort, but it's still a lot of effort.
And the checkers are waiting for Ricky Carmichael. Taking a look now at the top 10 as Ricky goes back to our interview area. Reynard in second. McCormick took a third, with Brown and Johnson rounding out the top 5. Dowdy ending up in 8th place.